Greetings, this is Bruce George, founder of the Genius is Coming movement and co-founder of Deaf Poetry Jam on HBO. And you're watching Amplify Live with Teresa B. Peace.
Keep shining, let it shine like a diamond. Keep shining, let it shine like a diamond.
Good evening, Facebook. This is Teresa B coming to you live from Amplified Exposure Live. And today I have my wonderful guest, Gary Sturgis. He's been on before and we've become friends. So now he's on again. And he came on today, took time out while he's shooting movies and flying across, well, not flying across the world because it's probably going to all in LA right now. Yep. While he's shooting movies and doing his thing, he came on, not just because he's a dope actor and he's busy and he got all this stuff going on, but he came on today because he likes me. So for all of you out there in TV land, Roku land, La La land, wherever you're located, we are going to have some fun. So please stay tuned as we talk tonight about men and women in relationships. How you doing today, Gary?
I can't complain. I'm sure when these relationship conversations kick off, you know how it is. Everybody's super sensitive about their relationships, but that's what we'll talk about my book and how my book makes you actually take a look at self, because we too often do the finger pointing at what the other person's doing wrong when a lot of it is self-assessment.
Self-assessment. And a lot of us don't like to self-assess, but we're going to self-assess tonight. We don't care if you want to self-assess or not. Right. That's right. So for those of you, if you didn't see my first show with Mr. Sturgis has done several movies out there. Most of you know him from Daddy's Little Girls. You can see it in the background. He had a movie called, was it Pride?
Yeah, Pride. Yeah. Pride. Howard and Bernie Mac. One of Bernie Mac's last few movies that he shot before he passed.
Yeah. So he's continuing to do work. He was on the set just this weekend, so he's busy, and he's looking tired just like me.
Yeah, we've been busting 12, 15-hour days. We're trying to shoot an 8-hour series in 16 days. So this is an undertaking. We have 3 crews, 3 different directors, 3 different sound people, 3 different everything. So we're in different locations all over Los Angeles. So yeah, I've been watching the sunrise a few sunrise from set. So yeah, we got a few days off now though. They had a little COVID scare, so we took a few days off to regroup. I gotta go get retested in the morning. So we are being COVID safe for all those that's out there watching. This is the new America and the new film business where every week we got to get Q-tip shoved up our nose just to work. But tomorrow I have another Q-tip appointment, so so then we can get back to staying up all night.
Well, I appreciate you coming on my show with being so busy and not getting any sleep. I really appreciate you doing this for me. So.
It actually worked out great because they kept changing my schedule. I was supposed to work Wednesday, they changed it to Tuesday, and then the COVID thing happened, so they just took the next 3 days off. I was like, well, that worked out for everybody because we needed to rest and I had a show to do. So time is great.
Good. So you wrote a book called #Why He Won't Marry You and How to Change That Dynamic.
Yeah, see, I want people to remember that the subtitle is "And How to Change That Dynamic." Because when I first started promoting this book on social media, it was harsh on my promotions, though. I won't lie. I would write simple stuff like, you can't cook, #Why He Won't Marry You. You listen to your girlfriends who can't keep a man, #Why He Won't Marry You. So I didn't really explain anything. I would just say, just broad stuff. And it caused a lot of women to start talking about it, which made people want to read it because it was like, where are you going with this? Right. Just so the ladies that's watching, and even the fellas that's watching know, because there's a lot of guys who bought my book as well, because it helps them to have better conversations with their women, because it's from a male's perspective of things that women do that y'all think are super cool, ways that y'all act that y'all think are super interesting. Somehow y'all call it special. Oh, there's nobody else like me. Oh, you're right. And it's not a good thing. But a lot of times what happens is there's a misconception of how we present ourselves and how we see ourselves being presented versus how we're being received by the other person or other people. And this goes not just with relationships in a personal sense, but this is relationships in general, business relationships, friendships. It works the same in all areas because there's two perceptions. There's the perception you think you're putting out, and there's the perception that people are receiving from you. How many times have you heard in a conversation somebody say, oh, you're arrogant? And you've said to yourself, there's nothing arrogant about me. Well, to you. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, if 10 other people say that you're arrogant, then to some degree, there's something you're doing that is coming off that way. But this goes back to what the whole book is about, self-assessment. And that's like the hardest thing for us as human beings to do, because we tend as humans to have a need to blame other people for our woes and our dismays and our problems and our emotional baggage. A lot of times it's not the problem, it's how we handle problems. And that's kind of what my book is about.
Okay, so tell us how to give us a problem and tell us how to handle it.
Well, okay, I'll give you a fun one, because a lot of another thing about my book, it's a fun read. You could actually knock it out in a day and a half or so. It's good travel reading because it's funny. I wrote it in such a way where it's like I'm talking to you as a dude, like your best guy friend that you're not sleeping with, telling you, girl, look, don't some of that stuff you doing just ain't hot. Like, I'll give you a simple example. A lot of women, when a guy gets home from work, a lot of women treat dudes like they their girlfriends. They want to lay the daily baggage on them and stuff. And what you got to understand is guys ain't girls. You know what I'm saying? You have to allow guys to be guys. And sometimes all a guy wants is to come home, take his shoes off, get something to eat, maybe get his back rubbed, get some. You know what I'm saying? Then tell me your damn problems. See, the problem is the order by which women do stuff. You get a dude just walking in from work, and you ain't put the trash out. That's a bad way to start. If you want the trash put out, make me forget that I didn't put the trash out by doing some stuff that'll make me happy. But women don't think like that. It's always like, what about my happiness? Me. There's two people in a relationship, and though that dude don't have the sensitivity training to whine about his happiness, that anger that he's showing you is him not getting his happiness. We translate information differently. So, for example, guy comes home, she's burdening him about what he needs to do. It's not like he don't want to do these things. It's the timing and how you go about doing stuff. Women tend to talk to men like they're their children. Like, I got to raise you like you're a project. Like, I've heard so many women say, well, he cool, but he still got this issue and that issue. He a little rough around the edges, but I could rebuild him like we some $6 million man project, Meanwhile, the same women will say to you, hey, I got issues, deal with it. Same thing. How come it's like I got to deal with her crazy, but she's not obligated to deal with mine? You know what I'm saying? Because mine is different. That's just mine. You know what I'm saying? Your crazy is yours. His crazy is his. And there's an excuse pattern that goes on with the other. So I tell women all the time, you want a dude to do stuff a dude like. And trust me, he'll do whatever you want him to do. When he come home, he just had a plate ready. You know what I'm saying? He eat. Once a dude eat, he in a better state of mind. Hey, if you want them good chicks, give him some. Right after you have sex with a man, you could practically ask him for the house to be signed over to you, and he will say yes, because right now he's in a good state of mind. Problem with women is y'all want everything to be contingent upon. Well, I'll give you some contingent upon you doing something. I'm a grown-ass man. Ain't nothing going to be contingent upon anything. You know what I'm saying? You want me to do something for you, perhaps you should do things that's catering to what my needs are. And men are very simple. On a Sunday, just let me watch the game. I don't want to hear whatever you talking about Sunday. Can we say that to after the game? Women they got to stand in front of the TV. They wait till you're doing something you want to be doing. And that's when they're going to assert their power. It's like y'all just choose the wrong time to get the things done that you want done. And this is why they never accomplish. This is why y'all do this. Because it's not always about what you want. It's about what he wants too.
You just immediately went in on us.
Okay, listen to the name of the book. Hashtag why he won't marry you. It's not why you won't marry him. It's not why he won't marry him. It's about why he won't marry you. Of course, I went immediately on you. I mean,
it just felt like an attack.
Because this is the sensitivity of women. Women don't want to hit it. They shit stink. At the end of the day, I'm not saying, hey, what you're doing is wrong. The information is not the problem. It's how you go about getting the information off to him. If you want something done, your way is the problem. It's not what you want. It's the way you go about it. Men are treated like children inside their own households. It's like, I'm going to talk to you a certain way to get stuff done.
Well, wait.
No, you're not. This is why dudes tell you they're going to get a pack of cigarettes and don't come home. You know what I'm saying? You wonder why these things happen. That's the whole book.
I can't
The book
with you.
about what irritates guys in relationships with women, because we don't. And if you read the first chapters, I'll give you to make y'all feel better, because some of y'all probably sitting there right now cussing at the screen, which is, usually if you react in that way, you're probably somebody the book is for. Because I tell women all the time when they start getting bent, it's like, you need to read it twice. You're in there. You know what I'm saying? I deal with all kinds of scenarios that happen with men and women, but the most important thing to remember is it all starts from childhood. I blame mother and father. Just like any white psychiatrist will tell you, all your problems go back to your parents. So does this shit. At the end of the day, let's look psychologically at what happens to young people when they're being raised. Girls are raised with lifestyle goals from the very beginning. When you guys are first, you still have your diaper on, they give you a little Cabbage Patch looking doll, the little doll that pee, it throws up, you got to feed it. So they're teaching you as a child to be a mother before you even 10 years old. This is something that's being taught to you in a toy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what do you do after you turn into a young teen? You graduate from the little Cabbage Patch doll to a Barbie. Now, Barbie's an interesting doll because this heifer's got a nice body. She got a dream house. She got a car. She has life goals. You know what I'm saying? She got a boyfriend named Ken. He got 6-pack abs, got the beach outfits and shit. He got clothes he could change, teaching you how to coordinate colors. I mean, you got a house to play with. Y'all actually do stuff with Barbie and Ken like married people. Lifestyle goals. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, what are you teaching your sons? We're playing with G.I. Joes, where the chick got just as much muscles as the dude. You know what I'm saying? If you put them together, you never think sexually about them. You never think, yeah, I'm going to get G.I. Joe and G.I. Jane to be together. You never think that. We don't have lifestyle goals in our lives as men. We get to pull, wings off of insects and shit. We play King of the Hill. We try to dominate one another to see who's the toughest. So sensitivity is no longer in the conversation, nor are we being sold the stories that women are being sold. Y'all are told, hey, someday, some knight in shining armor is going to sweep you off your feet. Back at the ranch, nobody ever told us that story. See, if we don't know that we have to be a knight in shining armor, then how do we know the expectations that women have? See, I see you over there.
No, that didn't go on.
But I'm just saying, there's two different doctrines that's being taught here. Boys' toys don't lead them to no type of thing past dominance. It don't lead you, how can you beat and destroy cowboys and Indians? Let's kill each other. There's two different things being taught here. So girls grow up with these expectations, and the boys have no goddamn clue of how to approach you because we were never told those stories. Hey, one day some girl expects you to sweep her off her feet. Well, I never got the sweeper off the feet toy. I never had a toy that taught me that. You had an easy bake oven. That's why you like to cook. I wasn't given an easy bake oven. You know what I'm saying? So everything that was given to y'all from the moment y'all are born grooms y'all for the things that y'all expect. Boys don't get the same memo. So if you want better relationships, it starts with what you teach your boys, because the girls got it. You know what I'm saying? And you thought I was coming in dissing y'all. Y'all thought I was coming in dissing y'all. It's to say that y'all got it together. So you got to look at our dumb asses and understand we don't. So you have to have more understanding than you're asking for is what this whole book is about. Women want all this understanding because we're complex creatures. Well, we're simple creatures that don't have a complex understanding. So there's no need to give us complexities. We're simple. Stop dealing with us as if we're you. I'm not one of your girlfriends. You don't have to use the same methods because I don't know what she knows. I wasn't taught what she was taught. I'm telling you, every problem we got comes from childhood because y'all were taught everything you were supposed to be. We weren't.
I'm going to write answer to that book. How about that?
Okay. How about that? And let me tell you the funny thing about it. Nobody's going to care, and here's why. Because he don't care why you won't marry him. He'll marry somebody else. Do you understand statistically there are more men walking the earth That more straight men, more women walking the earth than there are straight men. So technically, if everybody paired off with somebody, there'd be a lot of lesbians. Sorry, it's just how it is. We have between jail, gay men, guys that don't even qualify because none of y'all want them because they ain't working. That just thins out the man pool. So what you got is a bunch of women going after a few great men and thinking they're the commodity. That's another misconception. See, we've been led to believe, oh, the power of the P, but the P that's got the power ain't the one you think it is, because he's not walking around thinking, yeah, when I get married, my groomsmen gonna wear this, and we gonna have this kind of cake. I ain't met a man in my life that wasn't gay that planned his own wedding. At the end of the day, men don't think like that. Ever since y'all was teenagers,
wait.
Man, I don't know. Show me a man that planned his own wedding, and I'll show you a gay dude. Dudes don't plan their weddings.
Well, my ex-husband helped plan our wedding.
And he's your what husband? There it is. Ain't no goddamn man supposed to be planning no wedding. That ain't what we do. Okay, I'm sorry. That's not something we participate in. Any group that's happily participating in a wedding is crazy. And I'm gonna tell you why. Was I there when you planned this with your friends at 16 years old? No. Y'all been talking about this since before you knew me. This was something y'all been talking. Y'all was talking colors. Y'all was talking shoes. What kind of dress? Where it's gonna be at? There was no man in the picture. This was for some sketch of a guy that's gonna magically pop up, and all of this miracle shit that you've dreamed of is going to happen. He's not aware of it. He wasn't in on the conversations with you and your friends. He wasn't there. He had no participation in that whatsoever. But he's supposed to know what he gets you because y'all got this kismet feeling together. He's supposed to know this is what I expect. I expect the Kanye West, Kim Kardashian kind of wedding because I'm that type of girl. Really? I got married in Vegas. Cost me $150. For my anniversary, my friends gave me a surprise wedding where I jumped the broom with a whole African garb on. Cost me nothing. So I got married twice to the same person for $150, and we still together 28 years later. So all that, I got to do it this way for my friends and to show off for people who don't care. That's part of y'all problem, is the show. If you really want to marry somebody, it's not about fronting for everybody else, because all you're doing is starting off with a bill. Anybody that's been married to tell you they get divorced and he's still paying for the wedding.
Not me. My wedding was paid that day. Not me.
Well, that's you. Go down the line. I bet there's people still paying for it, and she been gone for years. You know what I'm saying? They still paying for that wedding. It's like some of that stuff is ridiculous, because what is all that for? All that fronting, when at the end of the day, when all the smoke and mirrors clear, it's going to be you and that person dealing with the realities that is you and that person. Ain't nobody that sat there and ate that cake or that rose petal salad going to give a damn about nothing going on with you and that person. So people make it too much about the show and not so much about the union, which is another thing I talk about in the book. It's about, women get so caught up in the fantasy of this fantasy marriage and don't understand that it comes with real live work. People get in relationships and think, oh yeah, I'm in it. Yeah, it's cute, but you think it's gonna magically work itself out. You have to work at this every day. Anybody in a real relationship knows that. It's not the fantasy thing that you think in your mind. That shit gonna be work. If you haven't, I say this all the time. I think I said it in the book too. If you ain't thought about, some way you could remove this person from earth and get away with it, then you don't love that person. I mean, that's just reality. Everybody who's ever been in any kind of real love, you start saying to yourself, okay, how can I gotta kill you. I love you so much, you got to die. This is how love works. This is how love works. If you haven't thought about how to smother this mofo, or maybe I just break some glass up and put in his food because he made me mad. If you ain't had these kind of thoughts about your mate, you are not in a serious or long-term relationship. All that stuff you see on social media where everybody posted about, oh, look at us, we're at the beach, blah, blah. 20 minutes after they took that picture, it's like, F you, B. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We don't see all that. People see the pretty stuff on social media and they believe, oh, that's the fantasy relationship I want. Hey, I want Cardi B and Offset relationship. Till Offset act like Offset. And all of a sudden, I don't want that no more. Look at Cardi. I don't know why she put up with that. Because they're millionaires and you're not. I love how people take their regular lives and they try to apply it to rich people's lives. Like, it should be the same rules. No, it's really not. You know, it's not. You know, you can't look at normal lives. You work at the post office. This guy, you know, makes rap music. You know, he'll get away with a whole bunch more than you will, pal. So, you know, because he can go buy a Bentley for a chick without a driver's license. You know, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? The gifts seem to work. If you go back to any old black and white movie, any old movie with black folks when we started making movies, Billie Holiday, you know, Lady Sings the Blues. Whenever a dude messed up, all you do is buy a gift. Just show up with a gift. Somehow gifts, and the more expensive the gift, the more. Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, you know, they tried to accuse the man of rape. He showed up with a bigger ring. It's just what you do. It's what rich men do. They buy it. They buy your forgiveness. Yo, average dudes can't do that. You know, they just get talked about on Instagram. So it's, you know, this is the world we live in. So regular people can't compare their plight to rich folk.
Well, let me ask this. So to prevent all of this, when you're dating, what should we do to help the man, or what should we be looking for? Because when we date, guys tend to put up this facade, and they're going with all this stuff we're talking about, and they I'm listening to you, babe. I'm listening to you, when they really ain't listening to us. But then when they get married, it's like they don't want to hear nothing then. So they put on all these fronts to get us, and then when they get us, they don't want to do the stuff no more. That's not our fault.
That goes both ways. Let me explain. In my book, I talk about this thing that all human beings bring to the table when they first say hello, called the representative. See, the representative is the best version of you. This is the version of you that anybody would marry. This is the version of you that anybody would want to be around. But this is not you. This is not me. This is not anybody listening. This is the best version of you that you can put out. And this version only lasts for about 60 to 90 days with any human being. After about a 60, 90-day mark, you start to see things about people that you didn't notice before. Like, damn, he sure used the B word a lot. Or damn, I didn't know he cut you out like that when he get mad. Or damn, I didn't know she was that crazy. Or damn, when she started going through my phone. You know, you don't see this side of a person until about 90 days in. So we all send this thing called the representative. Our representative is dope. We all want to date our representative. Hell, I go out with my own. But at the end of the day, that's not who we really are. People have layers, you know? And the nice person that you show up with, the person that says all the right things, like, it was at first he was listening. He was listening because he wouldn't keep talking to you. I wouldn't still be talking if he wasn't listening. But after a while, he realized he heard that story before. I can't tell you how many times girls tell me the same stories over and over as if I've never heard them, to the point that I start sitting there thinking about other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, even friends do it. And I just be sitting there like, you've told me this story like a million times. Is this like part of your script? I mean, I've heard it. You know what I'm saying? And I've not only heard it once, I've heard it several times. I can tell it back to you. That's how often I've heard it. So guys tend to tune out when it's not new information. Women sometimes don't provide new information. It's like, I like talking about the same stuff. Guys want to move on. So a lot of it is just a disconnect in how we see life and how we deal with information. And guys don't have we wasn't brought up to allow to be sensitive enough to tell you sometimes, you know, could you, without being rude, you know, could you, you know, shut them up, you know what I'm saying? But you know, we can't say it without being rude, but we thinking it's like, you know, I just got home. My wife knows. See, the cool thing is I'm in a situation where my wife gets me. So she know I walked in at 5 a.m. It's 5 a.m. She know I don't eat on set. So if I've been gone for 15 hours, I'm probably hungry. So she'll get up and fix me something to eat. And I can bitch about the last 15 hours of how I've been sitting around for 7 of them and I ain't did nothing. You know, so I get the vent. You know what I'm saying? It's such a great relationship when it goes both ways, you know? And then I eat my food, go to bed. Simple life. Simple life.
Well, let me ask this, because when they bring the representative and you think that's really them, and you know, you're thinking that this is the person for you, and you get all excited and you tell your girlfriends, and then he goes ghost. What's up with the ghosting stuff?
Well, what's up with the ghosting stuff is that the representative they sent was lying from the gate. He's a misrepresentative, because when a person ghosts you, it's usually because they got something else going on that's sort of taking forefront of their time. because time is what this is all about. The one thing I tell people is you got to give people credit for time. Even if they bullshitting you, you got to give them credit for time, because time is something they don't get back. If they decided to waste their time to run whatever long or short con they decided to run, I give you credit for putting in the time for it. Because, you know, everybody's not gullible. Most women are going to make you put in some time. But I think a lot of times what starts to happen with guys too, guys don't have the same patience level as women. Guys might want to move to a certain, just like women like to say, where's this relationship going? Which is one of y'all favorite, you know, lines 5-6 months in. It's like, damn, I just getting to know, I just met your kids. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I guess it's going in a progressive way, but women feel like, you know, things have to progress at a pace that they want it to progress. Because once they open doors, like introducing you to the kids and stuff like that, then that's their way of saying, hey, I'm trying to do something with you. Because, you know, most people don't bring you around their children. So I get that. But men don't move at the same pace of women. Because I've heard so many guys come to me. It's one of the reasons why I wrote the book, is because I was having so many conversations with women about their relationships. And then guys, some of these guys I knew, so they would talk to me about their, you know, how they saw the relationship. And you'd be surprised at how differently, when you go talk to your girlfriends and they go talk to their guy friends, how differently you both see the relationship. You know what I'm saying? In general, in both conversations, what I would hear consistently was both people cared. Both people wanted to be in the relationship, but both people perceived the other person's behavior and how they handle situations as offensive. So the reaction was always going to be offensive. And this is where the relationships start to break down, because once we lose that piece of respect that we had as representatives of each other, and we start to become very real, then I start to see what the real hurt you looks like, and you start to see what the real hurt me looks like. And hurt on a woman and hurt on a man looks totally different. On a woman, it looks boo-hooish. On the dude, it looked like I'll throw some shit and break some shit in your house. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So, but to women, it's like, oh, he's being violent. No, he's being emotional, because he was told as a boy crying is soft. So it's not like he don't want to cry. He just can't. That's not an emotion he was ever allowed to show without being viewed in a certain way, which is also a problem with the way we raise our young boys. You know what I'm saying? There's things I tell my sons all the time. There are things that you're supposed to cry about. If you lose a loved one, man or not, you're supposed to cry. That's totally okay. You took a loss. You know, if you, which is one of my personal favorites, run into a parked car while playing football in the street. This is one of the ones they'll tell you, you know, man up, walk it off. It hurt. I just ran into a two-ton vehicle that is standing still while I'm in motion at about 40 miles an hour. It hurts. I'm skinny. You know, I'm a child, you know, so you can cry in an instance like that. But if I don't buy you the PlayStation 5 for Christmas, that is nothing to cry about. That's the kind of stuff that gets a foot put in your behind, child. But I try to tell boys, don't feel uncomfortable with being sensitive. There's nothing wrong with that. But as young men, because we were so often told we couldn't be, when you see grown men get upset, they don't cry, because it's not like they're not crying on the inside. Oh, he's boo-hooing, he's crying prison tears all on the inside. But to you, it's looking like names, disrespect, you know what I'm saying? Some of your personal items being slung about your own home. You know, that's the way you see it. But what it is he's having the same emotional breakdown you're having. It's just that he doesn't know how to. You know, it's too sensitive for a man to do that. Now, I'm different. You know, I tell my boys all the time, I got sons. I tell them, you know, not wrong with crying as long as you're crying about something worth crying about. Like I said, there's different things to cry about. If you're crying about not getting something, I'm going to give you something to cry about. You know what I'm saying? But if you're crying about something real, then it's totally okay as a man. But I think that's a lot of just bad upbringing to us as parents, and trying to make our sons hard. And somewhere in that, we forgot to tell them it's okay to be sensitive too. And that's something that's going to be required of you later on in life. Because when you start interacting with women, see, think about it. When we're young, we're interacting with our own sex. You know, girls play with girls, boys play with boys. There's a period of time where boys and girls don't even like each other. So during that period of time, we're sharing all of our life stories with boys, and you're sharing all of your life stories with girls. And at some point, we have to come together. At some point, she starts to look at boys different. She starts to develop, boys look at her different. Just think about it. At 10, we all got flat chests. You know what I'm saying? At 10, the only thing different is y'all got longer hair. And it's in some cases, they got some boys with some long hair too. So you can't tell boys from girls until they start to get around young teens, when the development process and all that starts. And once that happens, we start looking at each other differently. Now, somewhere in all that teaching, we still were never taught how to approach you. This is why guys got lines. This is why guys say dumb stuff. This is why we make up stuff out the air, because we were never told what the expectations of women was. What did they expect from us? We don't know those stories. We weren't fed those stories. Like I said, you go back, even the first chapter of my book is the best chapter of the book because it explains everything that goes back to everything we remember as children. And if you look at those two doctrines, y'all had everything right. Everything about y'all taught you how to be a mother, how to be a wife, how to be in a relationship, how to take care of a home, how to cook. Every toy you had was a life skills toy or a lifestyle goal toy. Every toy we had was a destructive toy. G.I. Joe, trucks, cars, racetracks.
In high school right now, in high school, they have life skills classes for boys and girls. So there's a experiment that they do where you're supposed to carry around the baby, a little fake baby, in a car seat for 2 days because the teacher's trying to show you the struggle of raising a child when you're young and you're active. So boys and girls have to do that. That's part of the assignment. And
we see, but nowadays, I'm 54 years old. I remember when the sex ed teacher came in back then, when they first started letting sex education be a subject, it was so awkward because we're at a time in society where talking about sex was dirty. But now they felt like it was time to start educating kids because kids was out there getting pregnant like crazy because nobody was wanting to have that talk. I remember my gym teacher was the sex ed teacher. Female gym teacher was the sex ed teacher. And she sat there and told all the boys, don't be masturbating because you only got so many sperm cells. And if you use them all up, you won't be able to have kids. Now, when you're 17 and you hear stuff like that from first of all, I want to say educated, but it was really the gym teacher. So it was always questionable. It's like, where did you read that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're the gym teacher. You know what I'm saying? So you hear this kind of stuff as a young person and you start realizing that some of the stuff that they're teaching you is not necessarily, scientific information. It's personal, stop touching on the girls behind the bleachers information, but you're young and you're intelligible. So impressionable. I mean, so people can put those things into your mind and these become your reality. So, out of a classroom of boys, you probably got 4 boys that just said, I can't masturbate no more because, I only got like 6 cycles of sperm and once it's gone, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? Which is not true. But, that was the stuff. This was sex education in the 70s. When people was just coming out of the whole drugs and free sex life that nobody wanted to discuss with their kids that they was having while they was, doing all these rock concerts and stoning out and having sex with everybody.
It's so different now.
Yeah, I mean, they want to, you educate. You got kids now. It's got to be different now. You got kids who can make the legal choice of deciding what they want to identify as sexually. Now, I find that interesting. Because a child can say, I'm a male who identifies as a female. And we as society are told, because of where we are in progression, we have to accept that. Okay, let me try one. I'm a black man who wants to identify as a rich British dude. Does it work? I mean, am I going to get that when I walk the streets? Are people going to say, hello, sir? And no, they're not. They're going to still see Gary Sturgis. So no matter what I want to identify as, it's what is. So society's getting to the point where to make everybody comfortable, we're conforming so much to make everybody comfortable that it's making everybody uncomfortable. So, I think everybody should have rights and stuff, but then there has to be lines drawn. Like, okay, there's a person who gets to identify as a female that was born male, also get to participate in female sports. This is a debate. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't care what you identify as. Genetically, you're not the same as the rest of these people. So in a sports competition phase, how can you now say, hey, well, I'm a woman, so I should be able to play, on the women's soccer team, against all the women's boxing team? Because I actually saw a situation where a transgender boxer fought a female boxer and almost broke the woman's face. It's like, it's still a man, the DNA of this person. Now, I'm not taking away from how they identify. I'm not taking away from how they want to walk the streets or how they want to be, spoken to with pronouns. All of that's fair. But when we start talking about things that are designated that are sexually designated, like sports, we have to draw a line somewhere because it's now unfair competition to the women who now, I don't care how much your opponent looks like a woman, your opponent has the strength and DNA of a man. So now it starts to become an issue of where does the line get drawn?
Well, here's the thing, and me working in high school, it has confused these kids so much with having given them that right to
There's a lot
identify
of freedom.
themselves.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of freedom to give a child, you know. I mean, most of us don't want our children to catch the bus alone till a certain age, you know. But
Right.
you can decide your own sex, kids. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's just a bit much to me. I believe that genetically because I know some friends of mine who were born, and I knew at a very young age that there was something different about them. And as they grew to be adults, you know, they either became seriously effeminate men, transgendered, or just outright gay men. Being a young person who had friends that I grew up with like that, I can't honestly say that it was a behavior that was taught to them. I do think that it goes both ways. I think it can be a taught behavior as well as it could be a genetic behavior. You got to consider when born, we're born of chromosomes. You know what I'm saying? Some people can have a little bit more than one than another. That's why you see effeminate men. You know, it got a little bit more of the feminine gene up in there, even though it got all the man features. So these are chromosomes we're dealing with. So it's scientifically possible, you know, that you can be born genetically with the feelings of attraction to one, the other, or both sexes. I don't think that there's anything weird about that. I do think too, because you listen to some of the stories, I do think too, some stories are forced stories too, where you say, well, I got molested or such and such and such and such. Well, I always say, well, you listen to the stories of boys all the time. Well, I got molested. Okay, but then later on, you're willingly gay. So were you molested, or did somebody have foresight and saw something in you that you didn't see yet? Because at the end of the day, if a woman is raped, she's not going to suddenly, every time a guy gets close to her, feel comfortable. You know, rape is a crime. It's a psychological, it's taking something from someone. So even from a male to a male or a female to a female, if you truly believe that you were molested, if you truly believe that somebody took your virginity or violated you in any way, then you wouldn't condone to want to have that same behavior freely as an adult. So to me, some of that starts to become questionable, because my thing is, if somebody actually put a gun to my head, then every time I see somebody even looking remotely close to me with their hands, I'm going to always remember that feeling and freak the hell out. So if suddenly now when people put gun to my head, I'm like, oh yeah, there's something is not right here. You know what I'm saying? It's like I must have liked it when the gun got put to my head the first time, but I was young and it shouldn't have been done to me. But if it was something done to me that was a traumatic experience, I would not want to experience it again as an adult. So a lot of that is just, you know, there's so much gray area in there. You know, I try not to judge, because my thing is it's not my job to judge people, but I think there's a line that has to be drawn sometimes when it comes to how far we allow children to make decisions. Because once they're 18, you know, if that's what you want to do, you have, you know, you're an adult, you can do what you want. But I don't know if we have children that are very impressionable, and we have to be mindful as adults, you know, even in a free spirit society, how much we allow them, how much freedom we allow them to make those kind of decisions at such a young age. Right. And that's, you know, that's fair to say.
So let's talk about the maturity of a man and a woman. Let's talk about how you get in a relationship, and let's talk about, we don't want to talk about people in the 20s and 30s because they're still growing.
Right.
But when you're in your 40s and your 50s and you're still trying to sow your wild oats and playing games with women, and especially in this day and age, because it could be so dangerous.
Yeah.
How does a woman, what are some of the red flags that a woman should look for? Because for one, dating is so difficult, because now you got to find out if they're straight or gay.
Right.
You got to find out if they're married or living with somebody, because they don't tell you that when they get on these dating sites, and it's fair game. Like, you don't know who.
Let me say this in regards to my book, in regards to that, because when I wrote this book, the first version of the book was pretty much based upon things and conversations that I had with many couples, many single people, many people with divorce, just people who had with relationship issues. Mm-hmm. But to make the book fair, I wanted to be candid about some of my own mistakes inside my own marriage. And in the book, I speak about 2 affairs that I had, you know, in real life. So I didn't want to do a book that made women feel like, you're just pointing the finger at us. Oh, no, I made some mistakes, too. But I want to show you how those mistakes come about, because whether we want to believe it or not, you're always in competition. you're always in competition. I don't give a damn if you got a ring on your finger or not. Every time you walk out into the general public, there's a chance that you or he is going to see someone that catches your eye. Being married does not change that. What attracts you attracts you. That's just a human being thing. If you have a pattern of your life, or you have a routine and you do the same thing every day, you see the same people every day. But today I broke that pattern. I decided to do something different. And when breaking that pattern, I met somebody different. You know, I put myself on a different path. Because think about it. We say, oh, yeah, I'm going to find somebody to marry. Well, but I can't find nobody. Maybe it's because you limited yourself to the area you're in. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the person you're supposed to marry don't live in the city you live in. Because I hear a lot of people say, well, there's all garbage men in this town. Well, there's men all over the world, right? Maybe the man that you're supposed to be with just ain't in your town. Because that's another thing that makes relationships not work is we feel like we have to marry who is in close proximity to us. There's got to be somebody close. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be somebody I can get to. You know what I'm saying? But that might not be the person that's for you. Maybe at some point y'all will get to the point that y'all can get together. But, the beautiful thing about where we are now in society is with all this Zoom and all these technology and apps and stuff, people can communicate now better than they ever could in the past. Before you had to, dial on the phone and hope you get a call, hope that, they got double line where you can get through, but now you could actually look at a person. So you don't have to worry about that little thing that was happening 10 years ago and getting catfished and stuff. It's like if a person is not willing to, at least give you what we're doing right now, then how real can it be? So I mean, this is as real as it gets. I'm talking to you. I know you're talking to me. So even with distance, we're both in two different parts of America. But it still allows us the time. And that's what I said about relationships, that people got to realize time is everything. And the time we live in America now with modern technology, we have to look at all of these moments as quality time. It can't always be like it used to be where it's got to be physical quality time. This is quality time, too. So I know women used to complain and say, all you do is text. That's still my damn time. At the end of the day, it takes time to sit there and do that. Of course, we like more interpersonal stuff, but we've been given technology that allows us to get ideas across a lot faster. So, yeah, I might not have the time to physically talk right now, but I'm steadily in communication. And that's how guys see stuff.
Wait a minute, because I'm out here on the dating scene, and I can tell you, that's a bad sign when all a man does is text you.
Well, I didn't say oh. See, now you added the word oh. I say texting is a form of communication too.
Texting is a form of communication.
When he has the opportunity to call, he can Zoom. When he has the opportunity to Zoom, but let's not discount texting. It's not a bad thing. Sometimes, like me, I'm on set a lot, so I want to communicate something to wifey. I can't. Yeah, boo. Blah blah. They quiet on the damn set. You know what I'm saying? They can hear all that. You know what I'm saying? So I got the text stuff. If I can get a message across. So it's like I'm still in communication. But then get a break. Hey, what's up? Here's what's going on. Blah 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 blah. We got to be able to balance it and not sort of write one off because it's not a preference of yours. You know what I'm saying? You can always say call more, but if you was at your job, we all got rules at our job. You can't just be like, yeah, baby, blah, 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 blah. Like your boss ain't going to walk in here and see you. So it's just a respect thing. I get it. Women don't like, the texty text thing. They like to hear, they want to hear your voice because they can't tell if you're lying on the text. I got to hear your voice. I need to see you.
Not only that, if you can't call me after 9 o'clock, you married.
Well, okay, that's another thing. But I brought this up about the book for that reason, because you said that. All men don't lie about this situation. I can't, I think that was old school. Back in the day, dudes would take off their ring and lie about it. I tell dudes to this day, dude, you just met. There's no reason to lie about anything. If there's one thing I learned about women, you'd be surprised what they'd be open to do if you just be honest from the gate. It's all about choices is what I've come to realize. It's not about perfect, because ain't nobody perfect. But it's about giving a person the opportunity to decide if they want to walk down this shady ass road. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm telling you. That's what
guys that don't are foul. I'll be straight up. It's foul, period. But guys that are dishonest about their own reality, that's totally foul. In my book, I talk about that. There's not a situation that I put myself in that I ever lied about. So if it was somebody that I did something with, they went into it knowing, hey, you got a wife. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't I'm going to hide my ring. I'm going to tell this lie to get, because that's wrong to do that to a person, especially on the onset. You don't know them. So you can tell them, to me, that's the best time to tell your truth to anybody, male or female. The best time to tell your truth is when you first meet somebody, because there's nothing on the table yet. Right. Nobody's made a decision. Nobody's feelings are involved. But by getting these tidbits of information, we as grown people make assessments. Okay, well, I can't deal with this part, but I can deal with that part. And we start weighing, what outweighs more? Is the love for the person strong enough to deal with the crazy baby mama? You know what I'm saying? It becomes a weight of truth. But I agree. There's nothing wrong. You can't deceive a woman by telling her false information from the gate, allow her to get her feelings involved, and then spring out the real information. I think that's totally low. That's totally wrong. It's been done. Even in my book, I talk about it. It was done to me. You know what I'm saying? So it don't just happen with guys doing it. Girls tell them lies too. So, that's a reality of people. Being dishonest is, and it's funny, in my track record of dealing with folks, the people who are the most dishonest are the people who demand honesty the most.
Yeah.
Let that marinate in your head. The people who go out of their way to talk about honesty are usually the most dishonest people. Because if you're just being honest, there's no need to constantly rag on it and talk about it. Right. That people have a habit of giving themselves away by constantly talking about things that bug them. It's because they're comfortable doing such things, and they figure if I'm doing it, you must be too. So a lot of guilt goes back and forth in relationships too. A lot of cats, there's a lot of guys out here that really don't be doing shit wrong, but a lot of women feel like, hey, guys do shit wrong all the time. Or some women be like, hey, I did my little dirt and I know I'm good at it. If I got away with it, he got to be doing something. There's a lot of good cats out here. They really are. I got friends that I do be on my Zoom show all the time, that I watch their wives treat them like crap, and I'll be like, wow, he's a good father. You know what I'm saying? He out in the streets doing nothing, better man than me. You know what I'm saying? But the woman don't see it. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes that happens in relationships too, that there starts to be this vision of who the person is. Like I was talking about perception. There's a vision of who we are, and there's what we're projecting. And sometimes it's not received, even with guys. Guy could be putting out one image, but that's not the image that's being received of him. And I think that's when we have to self-assess. We have to say, well, okay, I think that I'm putting, like, I'll use a person that we all know, Stevie J, right? In Stevie J's mind, he's the good guy. You know what I'm saying? That's his own words. I'm the good guy. I'm the good guy. And that's his reality. Now, I know to us watching it, we all like, oh, Stevie full of shit. But that's his reality to him. He's a Scorpio just like me. His reality is that's the image I am. I'm a good guy. Now, mind you, when you listen to Mimi talk about some of the things that he did in the relationship, not really the good guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it's perception versus reality. It's a perception of what you're putting out, and there's the reality of what the person is receiving. In his own mind, he thinks the good things that he do, like most people, the good stuff I do outweighs the bad. Robin Hood robbed people, but he gave the money to the poor. So it's like the good outweighs the bad. And that's with all relationships. We all sit there with a list and say, well, here's the pluses, here's the minuses. And if the minuses outweigh the pluses, that's when we start reviewing whether or not this relationship is doable. But to think, ladies, this is for you, because guys don't have this problem. To think it's going to be perfect with no effort, not going to happen. Relationships at work. I don't care who it is, who you're dating, with same sex, no sex, sex and animal don't make a difference. Relationships all require work. And most people don't want to put in the work. They want it to be a fairy tale and want it to be easy. You want guys to get it. You want guys to know what you're thinking. They don't know what you're thinking. Guys will sit up forever. There's a way to get in the book. I talk about how to get guys to marry you, because that's what the book is actually about. It's how to get the dude to marry you. Because I've shown you some problems that might exist in your relationship or with your friends that's, controlling things you're doing in your relationship. And then I show you how to get around them to where he's going to be happy about it. Because ultimately, it's about you and him. Remember this above all things. He has to ask you to marry him. That's why it's called Why He Won't Marry You. Because at the end of the day, you want him to do something. You want him to get on his knee and propose to you. This is all part of it. It's not just some toss a ring across the table and say, what's up? You know what I'm saying? It ain't what you want. You want the whole thing the way it is in the book. He got to get on the knee in front people. Got to be in some public goddamn place, because I need people to see this shit. You know what I'm saying? This is all the mindset. So don't you think at some point, some of the responsibility to get this guy to get on his knee is on you, ladies? I mean, this is what the whole book is about. There's very few guys. Now, I'm not gonna say there's none, but there's very few guys that's walking the earth saying, boy, I can't wait till the day I get married. I can't wait till the day I can't talk to nobody else. I can't wait till the day I got to get rid of my black book. I can't wait till the day that I lose all my friends because now I'm stuck at home and I can't do nothing. Boy, I can't wait for that. Ain't no dude saying that. That is not, so think about it. You got to sell it. You got to sell it, ladies. That's what I'm saying. Y'all think, y'all be on this, oh, I'm the prize. I got a vagina. Y'all all got one. You know what I'm saying? Even the ugly chicks. And they don't mind sharing it either. And guys don't care. See, y'all be saying, why he with that ugly chick? Because she did stuff you wouldn't do. And y'all say, oh, but she ugly. To you, she's a performance beast, though. See, this is the way This is the way guys think. Y'all are thinking, she ugly. Yeah, but she do stuff you don't do, Miss Missionary. You know what I'm saying? So screw what you talking about. I'm a little bit more adventurous. So I'll take this booger bat over here because she pays for stuff. You know what I'm saying? She's good to me. She's everything to me that you want me to be to you. And you wonder why he cheating. I'm telling you, y'all don't understand. In the book, I talk about that. There's a constant competition. Every time you walk out the door, there's a possibility somebody gonna see you and sweep you off your feet. Now, difference between most women and some men is that women have they have the non-sweepability wall up and shit. Like, no, I can't do it. I'm with somebody, but I'll still take your number. I'm not gonna call you though. I'm not gonna call you, but I'm gonna keep it for an insurance policy just in case he's screwed. Because what guys say to y'all all the time when y'all dating somebody? Well, I'm gonna give you my number just in case your boy mess up. This is what guys say because they know he's going to mess up. Dude, it's part of being a guy. Screwing up is a part of the job. So part of it becomes acceptance and tolerance. It's about how much can I tolerate? How much can I accept? Guys we're not built with the same moral fiber y'all are built with. Like, for example, I believe that, if you do an x-ray of the human body, I believe that there's a small vein, just a tiny, tiny, tiny vein that goes from the heart all the way to the vagina, because somehow these two things are intricately connected. Once you share the vajayjay, somehow the heart seems to grow fonder. Guys have no such nerve ending that goes from the heart to the penis. There's a reason why they call it a head, ladies. They think differently. They don't think in sync. They don't work like your body works. This head can tell me, hey, don't do that. This other head will be like, hey, we're going over there anyway. So it's a double thinking system. I have to tell another part of me, no. See, women don't have this problem because the two parts are interlinked together. Now, there's a time when you meet the right person that those two things join together. But it's like, it's like childbirth. It has to come together. And this is what the whole book is about. It tells you ladies how to get these dudes to feel how you feel. Because ultimately, he's got to ask you for something. How do you get him to do that? You're asking a guy that's a natural hunter. Hey, dude that goes around chucking spears at stuff. Stop chucking spears. Be a home husband. Stop being a spear chucker. You know what I'm saying? That hunting thing you're doing, you got to stop that. Well, that's all I know how to do. You're telling me that's like telling a stripper, you get with a chick that's a stripper, right? I help y'all where y'all can identify it too, ladies. You get with a chick that's a stripper, and suddenly you be like, I don't want you stripping no more. But that's where you met me at. That's what I was doing when we met and you fell in love and shit. This is the same feeling dudes get when that thing gets connected. See, now the penis has the same kind of thing connected to the heart, but that comes from actual connection of a woman. Guys don't walk around with this naturally, ladies. Y'all got to put it on us. Y'all got to make us realize that there's something about you that means I don't need her no more. And women don't want to do the work. Women just don't want to do the work. They feel like I'm a woman. I got three wigs. I don't need to do the work. I can look like whoever you want me.
Okay, what about the ones that do the work and they still don't get the ring? I mean,
they ain't doing the work. See, that's that misconception shit. What about the ones that's doing the work? If they was doing the work, they'd have the husband. See, that's the thing y'all don't understand. There's this belief in your mind that I'm putting in the work. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. If you was doing what you was supposed to be doing, he'd have got on his knee by now without force. So y'all be having to put a shotgun to dude's head. You gonna marry me or I'm gonna be gone in a year. See, that's where women make their mistake. Ultimatums. It's your biggest weapon. Ultimatum. You know what? I'm only giving you 6 months to decide. See, that's called the biological clock. Wrote a whole chapter about it. Men have none. So therefore, we don't move on yours. Let me give you an example. Since we're talking about older couples, right? When a person gets to be in their 40s and 50s, like you say, by then you expect them to be then settled down. You expect them to be then got over whatever they was, going through. They should be ready to, do the settle down thing. True. However, guys' virility start to fall off as they get older. Women start to come on. You know what I'm saying? So while he might be slowing down a lot of that stuff, she's starting to feel sexier, hotter, and more ready to do stuff. It's like, well, hell, where was that 20 years ago? So we're growing at two different rates of what we're interested in too. Age-wise, guys, they should be at an age where they're settled, but you have to look at what they're coming out of. If they're in their 40s and they're not with nobody, possibly they were in some bad relationships too. So just like you have baggage that come from your bad relationships, so do guys. When guys see signs of things that remind them of something bad that happened in their past relationship, no different than y'all. They act shell-shocked, act crazy, you know what I'm saying? Because we all have bad memories of bad relationships. It's not always cool for us either. There's some crazy chicks out here. Okay. Like some of y'all on bus car windows and, right?
Oh, people, it's men that do that too. No, it's men that do that too.
I'm not saying dude, but once again, you get a dude in his feelings. See, that's when you got that good. You get a dude in his feelings, he start acting like a chick. You know what I'm saying? He start doing chick shit. I'm gonna have to come flatten your tires and shit. You ain't giving that to nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's when he like what you got. Now, if a dude start acting crazy, just know you done laid it on him. You done gave him the good. Now you got to get his mind right so that he can keep it. You know what I'm saying? Guys, for the fellas that's listening, 90% of the time when you walk up, there's 100% chance you're going to get that ass. 100%. But there's 100% chance. Now, I'm being real. There's 100% chance. You are absolutely right, brother. Walk up with your confidence. There's 100% chance she's thinking just what you're thinking. But you know where the mistake comes? He opens his mouth. See, that's where we mess up, guys. When you walk up there, they looking at you and you looking at them and they're like, damn, look at that. Got them gray sweatpants on, looking all sexy. I see you, boy. And then he open his mouth and say something dumb. And that's when we start losing points. It's like, it's a point system, dude. We start off with 100, until you open your mouth. And depending on how dumb it is, what you say the first time, you start losing points pretty small. But you say something really stupid, you probably lost about 50, dude. So by the time you get to the 45 threshold, you are no longer fuckable. That goes out the window. You know what I'm saying? That 100% you walked up with. Now she telling a friend, and girl, I was probably going to give him something tonight too, but he just messed that all up. It's the conversations they have when we not around, because I've heard some of these conversations. And I'll be like, wow, he had a chance. He just screwed that up talking. Guys, if you want to get in the pants, say less. And ladies, if you want the guy to marry you, say more. And saying more don't mean lay out your ultimatum and your plan, because like I said about age, once a woman get in her 40s, that biological clock kicking. Some women have kids by then, some women don't. The ones that don't, oh my God, they're putting pressure on the dude. You just met the guy. You know what I'm saying? You just met the guy. And you're already telling me that, well, I expect to be married by December. I just met you in May. You're just looking for a husband or you looking for me? Because at this point, it sounds like whoever's in the slot at this particular time is qualified for the job. Don't really matter who it is. I got a timeline that just need to go down. So if you standing here at the time, bruh, it's your job. That's where y'all lose dudes at, because that's your biological clock, not his. He just walked in here. He didn't know how you felt as you approached 40. You know what I'm saying?
But there are some guys who want to rush to get married and the woman does not. And we're trying to figure out what you rushing for.
Let's review these guys. Do these guys have their own homes? Do they have their own cars? Most of the guys that want to rush to get married probably need to stay with you. So get that done because you got a nice house and I like how you rolling. I'm living in this little studio apartment. So yeah, let's get this marriage thing on lock so I can pull up in here with my car that I'm driving that you own. So I think you have to look at the guys that want to get married that fast. That's scary too. Because guys, that's not how we move. So if a dude is trying to, meet you and marry you, you might want to make sure he's not like trying to up the insurance policy, start having insurance conversations with you early. Well, you know what? How big is the insurance? But do you have $1 million policy? Well, let's up the policy. That's a guy that's going to kill you later. You know what I'm saying? So be careful, ladies, about the type of guys that jump in too fast. So you want a guy to work for it. You want a guy to put in a little time. You want to, if y'all want to feel chased and pedestal, then, you have to put yourself in a chased and pedestal position. I'll be honest. Everybody does not qualify. Think about it, ladies. If there's a kingdom, there's only one queen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, everybody a queen. You know, in the world we live in, I'm a queen too. I'm a queen too. I'm a queen too. I'm a queen too. Well, hell, who the hell is the people? You know what I'm saying? Everybody queens. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, everybody ain't kings. You know what I'm saying? So well, how you gonna find all these queens gonna find kings? Sometimes we are princes and princesses that need to grow up. You know what I'm saying? We need to become kings and queens. And sometimes you have to meet people where they are. I think a lot of times in relationships, I know on my show we talk a lot about successful women, you know, because Coco Brown being a successful comedian, successful actress, you know, single woman, she talks all the time about how the problems that she's having finding a guy, which is not, you know, the normal woman's problem. She's very independent. She doesn't need a man for money. She doesn't need a man for financial support. She just wants a man for comfort and companionship. But when I hear a lot of stories about women who are self-made or independent women. And when I say independent women, I don't mean the ones that's independent minded. I mean the one that's paying their actual own way, not the, in my belief system, I'm independent. No, I'm actually literally need no dependence of mama, daddy, boyfriend, man, nothing. I can take care of myself. That level of independence. I hear a lot of these women saying that they have a struggle because guys are conditioned to be providers. You know, when guys walk into positions where they don't have to provide, they are nothing more than meat. You know what I'm saying? Nothing more than slinging meat, boo, because you don't need me for nothing else. So I can be replaced. So guys like to feel if being a provider is our strong suit and we're walking in a situation where we don't have to provide, then for a lot of guys, that's hard to adjust to. For me, it's different. I mean, I'm an entertainer. My life goes up and down. It's a career that, you know, throughout the span of a career will go up and down. So I'd rather have somebody that can ride a wave than somebody that, you know, that could also step up and do things when things ain't going so great for me, you know, and be a partnership versus, you know, you're Kobe, you take care of everything, and I just sit here and look pretty. You know what I'm saying? I think it's in a relationship, it's both people's responsibility. You know, in the world we live in, you can go work for an IT company and be making, you know, $600,000-$700,000 a year for the next 5 years. And then that IT company can go belly up. And this lifestyle that you and your wife and family have developed is going to shortly, you know, and very fastly come crashing down because, you know, when you're putting out that kind of money and it's not coming in, you know, it can start to become a problem with your upkeep. It becomes your downfall. So with that said, you know, we have to meet people where they are. And I think a lot of times, a lot of women on a clock, they want to have a kid. So they want the dude to do that right quick. They want to get married because in their mind, I have to be married by a certain time. You can't put pressure on dudes. You know, if you want a dude to marry you in a certain time, because I got friends that met and got married in 6 months, but why they did is because the woman did all kinds of things to make that man feel like I don't want to be with nobody else. See, a lot of times women want men to sweep them off their feet, but you want a man to ask you to marry him. So don't you think at some point there's some bit of responsibility, some modicum of responsibility that's on you to make him see you that way because you see you that way. You know what I'm saying? Of course, everybody sees himself as a catch. You know what I'm saying? I'm a catch. You know, I could be caught, but then most of the time we're throwing our bait out to people that probably wouldn't catch us. Like I saw this show. I'm sure everybody saw it on social media. I don't know whose show it is. Some guy sitting in a dark room. I guess he does these things with women. And the woman was on the camera and he was telling about how she's just average, you know, and you want this guy. You want a guy that has all this money and a baller and all this stuff, but you're just an average woman. Now, of course, people saw the tape. They were offended. She was offended. It wasn't what she wanted to hear. But when you listen to the expectations that people have in a relationship, they're fantasy level expectations from some women, and they can't handle the reality that that's not what you're attracting. You know what I'm saying? You want a baller guy. Have you seen the types of women that marry the ballers, the basketball players, and all that? There's a type. I don't know if you the average ball player's wife or the average rapper's girlfriend, there's a type. You know what I'm saying? Now, you might want that lifestyle, but you have to then look in the mirror and ask yourself two questions. A, am I that type? And B, am I willing to step over all these other people to get backstage at every possible event that these people are until they see that I'm that type? See, because not only is it a type, it's a will to get close to people like that as well. So there's work that goes into this, ladies. Those ladies that get those rings, they stepped on quite a few chicks to get noticed by these baller dudes. But they also had the physical tools that these dudes was looking for. You look at basketball players, the average dude is 7 feet tall. Their girlfriends be 5'2". That interesting? You know what I'm saying? Isn't that interesting? You know what I'm saying? They go for the WNBA players and shit. Yeah, we got something to we both tell people. No, they look for little short ass women. So there's a type. So if you sitting up there, 5'7", wear size 13, chances are you're not gonna catch none of these kind of guys. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what he was trying to tell his girl, and she getting all offended and stuff. It's like sometimes your expectations have got to match. Like I said, meet people where they are, just like you have to meet people where you are. Your expectations can't be higher than what you're offering. Sure, we all want, to be Miss Marcos and marry the prince, but that ain't gonna happen for everybody. We have to be realistic. Some people gonna marry the garbage man, but the garbage man got a job. And that job pays every Friday. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing to be ashamed of, because if that man didn't pick up that garbage, all our houses will be stinking in a week. So we look at things as status when we don't look at things as responsibility. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what if you don't? What if you don't? What if you like the garbage guy, but he has insecurities because of how much money you make?
The garbage guy, he don't. He's so happy to be with a chick after he puts away all that damn garbage. He has no insecurities about money. As long as you accept the fact that his check might not be dope as your check, but he is committing a service that is very good for the community, then that man is fine. At the end of the day, guys, a lot of us, we don't have issue with women making money. I love the concept of my woman making money. I think it's beautiful. I'm not one of the type of dudes that think, oh, she makes more than me. Good. Now I got to ask you to do some shit and I can sit on my ass some. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what a relationship don't put your head back. Men want to chill too. Y'all can work. We both got pulses. We both got heartbeats. There's 24 hours in a day. 8 of them, we both can be doing something great. So, that has nothing to do with.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that, because it is a team effort. And when you say for better or worse, that's what it's supposed to be when it comes financially.
If he falls off, you know what I'm saying? When y'all got together, that dude might have been balling out of control. But economy, time, presidential change, things change up and, jobs fall off. And sometimes you can't get another job like that. Perfect example. You've heard the term going postal, right? There's a reason why they say that term, because people who work for the post office tend to work for the post office for many years. It's a very good paying job. And then ageism kicks in the post office. They have a problem with ageism. Once you get to be a certain age, they don't feel you're useful no more. But once you get to be a certain age, there's no other job that's going to pick you up and pay you like the post office been paying you all these years. So you go, quote unquote, postal. You go back and want to kill everybody because your life ends today. There's nobody else going to hire your 55-year-old ass after you have been at the post office since you were 20. There's nothing, you're not going to find a job good as that. You know what I'm saying? Not at 55. So the same thing happens in relationships. People go postal in relationships when their needs are not being met. But some of our needs are ridiculous. Let's look in the mirror sometimes, males and females, and ask ourselves, are we being realistic in what we expect another person to bring to the table versus what we're bringing to the table for it? A lot of times the expectations are way higher than what's being presented. Hey, I want a guy who makes 7 figures. Meanwhile, I work at McDonald's. It's like, why would a guy that makes 7 figures even see you past saying, can I get some salt, pepper, and ketchup with my order? You know what I'm saying? It's like they're not going to notice you. It's not to say that you're not noticeable. It's just life dealt you a different set of cards. It's like a card game. Some of us got shitty hands. So you just got to play a little harder. And that's reality. You know what I'm saying? That's straight up reality. We as black people can say it 100%. Just for having black skin, we got, there's a few less spades in our spade hand. You know what I'm saying? Because
I can't with you. So no. So if you are just now tuning in, I am talking to Gary Sturgis about his book, #Why He Won't Marry You.
Fun read.
How to change that dynamic.
How to change that dynamic is the most important part. Because that's the part the ladies. There's a few times in the book I even tell you why you're reading it. I know right now you're probably trying to, staring at me on the throw your cup at me right now, but just keep reading because it gets better. At the end of the day, the parts that affect women having to look at themselves are always going to offend women, and that's good. Be offended because your shit stinks too. A lot of times it's easy to say, oh, it's him, it's what he's doing, it's him, it's what he's doing. I'm sure it's him and it's what he's doing, but sometimes some of the stuff he's doing is based upon what's being done to him. You just don't know it because he'll never tell you. So that's the problem with guys. You'll do things that irritate a guy, and the guy, instead of telling you it's irritating, he just start doing stuff different. You start saying, you acting funny. Yeah, because I'm not really equipped to have a conversation with you about what you're doing that's bothering you, because you're not going to hear me. And that's how guys are. So the way guys react to problems is they start reacting in an adverse way and start doing what patterns they had or whatever start to change. And that's when you start to notice and you start saying, oh, you're changing up. Oh, you're being different. No, I'm not changing up or being different. I'm not being heard when I'm saying I have an issue with you. So it's like anything. If you won't fix the problem, then I'm gonna have to do things to adjust to where the problem doesn't bother me anymore. Because if I tell you something bothers me and you don't think enough to fix it, but every time something's bothering you, I'm supposed to think enough to fix it, then there's a double standard going on, and men can't stand those. You can't lead without leading by example. For example, you can't get mad at a man for cheating on you if you got mad and cheated back. That's a null and void conversation after that. See, you have all the ground, you have all the legal ground in the world when you are wrong. But when you commit the same equal wrong, you can't now justify it as equal. You are just as screwed up as he is. See, you have a person on the fence as long as you're the victim. But the minute you become the perpetrator, you no longer have a leg to stand on. Same women that are going lay up with your friend will turn around and say, I only did it because you did. No, you did it because you're a hoe just like me. You know what I'm saying? I admit mine. You know what I'm saying? You just don't admit you. You want to blame somebody for yours, which goes back to self-assessment. An honest person and a good person is not going to condone doing something screwed up that they don't appreciate or like just to get back at somebody. Because women have this thing. I want you to feel how I feel. See, that's y'all thing. Y'all want y'all's way of getting men to understand something is we have to equally feel it the way you feel it. We won't. We never will. We're not you. We're going to feel it different. Oh, we're going to feel it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit up here and say we won't feel nothing, but we're never going to give you, because women always try to compare situations. Well, if the situation was reversed, and any man will tell you, it never would be reversed because I wouldn't make the choices you made. I wouldn't be in the situation you're in. See, so we can't compare a situation that would never happen. See, that's how women like this. Women like the 50-50 everything. Close the door. Women like the 50-50 everything. My wife then peep their head and they're like, what the fuck? You know, it's negative. Women want 50-50 on pain, okay? It's like, I want you to not only understand the pain, I'm going to browbeat you about the pain for months. Oh, you won't be able to watch a TV show without something being said that brings me back to the thing that pains me. I mean, goddamn, I'm just trying to watch Housewives. Everything they talk about somehow is a problem in my own home. This is how women are. You know what I'm saying? But the minute they do the stuff that a man does that they blame a man for, they no longer can argue about those things. And y'all want the right to do both. Hey, I screwed you over the same way you screwed me over, but I'm justified because you did it. No, you just as bad as me. You just needed a reason. I didn't need a reason. I'm just like, oh, you needed a reason to be one. At the end of the day, you don't have to use me. You made your own bad choice. So just like I got browbeaten for 8 days, do you honestly think after laying up with Tom, you're going to go 8 days without the same? See, women don't want it back. I just wanted you to feel how I felt. Okay, well, now I'm going to react how you reacted. See, it all goes together. Women want to stop on the feelings. Okay, well, no, I got you back on the feelings. No, now you about to get back on the 8 days of reaction. Y'all don't want it all.
Musa.
Y'all don't want it all. See, but that's the problem. Women don't want the whole thing. We just want men to feel what they feel. That's it. And I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm not the one.
I'm writing a rebuttal. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna write a rebuttal. I don't care what you say. I don't know what he's gonna talk about. I'm gonna read your book and I'm gonna go chapter by chapter and I'm gonna say the opposite.
And as you say the opposite, I'm gonna say to you, like I said, this because somebody, you about the third woman who said that to me. And I said, and this is why y'all be single. You know, if the man, y'all want men to tell y'all, you know, hey, I want you, can you tell me? No, you don't want me to tell y'all how we feel. You want me to tell y'all we feel like you feel. See, that's the problem. Women can't accept how men feel about information. But we got to accept how y'all feel, and y'all feelings change like draws. You know, hey, yesterday, this was the problem. I thought I dealt with it. Well, today we got a whole new set of problems. Jeez, this is just too much. Do y'all live for problems? It's like y'all not happy unless there's a problem. There got to be a conflict to show love. It's like love is a happy moment. It's a happy expression. We ain't got to be a conflict. I know women that like to get cussed out, like to get hit on, because that means he loved me. That just means y'all abusive. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all got an abusive relationship.
You wait till my book come out. I got something for you.
Well, what it may be called is why he won't marry, why she won't marry him. Because I remember a girl told me that, she said, I'm gonna write a book called Why She Won't Marry Him. I said, ain't nobody gonna buy it because he don't care. He don't care why she won't marry him. I can tell you, we don't sit up, and we never sit up when a girl tell us no and say, I wonder why she said no. I mean, why? I just don't understand. We just move on to the next chick. It's like she said, no, fuck it. I still got the ring. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we don't think like y'all think. We don't move like y'all move. So when y'all start thinking and moving like we do, you can no longer call us what you call us. That's all I'm saying. Be the virtuous chick. Be the victim. Be the person he messed up. So that way you can be in your right when you decide to walk away. However, you can't do what he did and not expect to get what he got. He got it for doing it. How come women do the same thing back? Like, lesson learned. No. There's some more lessons to learn. I got 8 days to browbeat your ass just like you did me. So it's a whole pattern. We got to get the whole thing in, the whole cycle. When I did it, I got browbeat for 8 days. I couldn't lay down, couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't do nothing. I carried about it every time. Do you really think you're going to go 8 days without the same feeling?
And there you have it, folks. I can't with you. There you have it. Gary Sturgis, he wrote a book, and I'm going to rebuttal ASAP.
Yeah,
thank you so much. Thank you so much. This has been a treat. We have to definitely do a part 2 because you got so many people.
I can wait to hear the rebuttal.
Oh my goodness. You got so many people chiming in, like they are like, what the what? This is good stuff.
You, it's gonna be funny when y'all read it, because what I do in marketing this book more than anything is I get under people's skin just so they can read the book and feel better. Because ultimately it's all funny to me. Relationships to me are funny because this is nothing more than people making choices that affect other people. That's all relationships are. It's just a bunch of choices that affect another person. And you just have to be open to the consequences, just like in anything in life, of the choices you make. And that goes to both sides of the relationship. A lot of times complacency is a big deal in relationships. Let me explain. There's a movie came out years ago called War of Roses. I don't know if you ever saw it. If you haven't, I would advise you to watch. It's a great film. But you know, it's about what happens when a couple does everything they could possibly do: build a house, decorate a house, have the kids. Then what? See, a lot of times, to me, where we differ is that women have a constant expectation of something. Men can go on like Godot and never have an expectation of anything. You know, so where does the expectation stop? Okay, first expectation is I want to be in a relationship. Okay, now I want to be in a serious, exclusive relationship. Now I want my relationship to lead to marriage. And in that marriage, I want to have children. And in those children, I want to have grandchildren. And I want to have this forever life and a beautiful home and all of these great things. And it all sounds good. But in real time, jobs are happening, COVID's happening. There's a whole bunch of real-time events that come in the way of this fantasy life that we all wish to have that affects our choices. You know, when COVID came, it affected a lot of people's work. So some of those comfortable relationships financially started becoming uncomfortable financially. Now, when something comfortable starts to become uncomfortable financially, it affects a man different than it affects a woman, because this is the point when a man is looked upon as the provider the most when things go south. So he's got his own inner turmoil going on how he's going to get his business that is now out of business because of COVID to not drive the family into the poorhouse. So he got that stress going on in his own head and he's not talking about it. But then he's got the wife that's, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? It's like I got a voice in my own head saying that I don't need the female version in my ear, because every day I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do, because I understand my responsibility. This is where relationships, well, a lot do. But what starts to happen is people don't understand when it comes to being a man, the value of the man is his worth is what he can provide. And when those things are stripped away from a guy, it takes away a lot of what makes him him. Some women can, there's a lot of women out here who know how to encourage your man. There's a lot of women out here who know how to motivate your man, which is these are the type of women that men marry. The ones we don't want are the ones that kick us while we're down. We have moments where we have to figure it out too. And I might have played Xbox 3 straight days during one of them moments. And I know you thought I was probably going to be the rest of my life, but this is me trying to veg out and take my mind off of what's going on so that something will pop in my head clearer than me focusing on it all day, because I ain't got nothing. So I'm going to veg out for a few days. But to a woman, it looks like, oh, you're just too chill, you know? You're too chill. It's like, no, it's just that I've thought about it so much that my head's about to explode. I need to distract myself with something that does not give me grief so that maybe I'll have a moment of clarity. But we don't explain that to women. So women perceive it as, oh, you're just being lazy. Oh, you're not trying to go out here and fix the problem. You know, it's just, I'm trying to think of a way to fix it that works for me, not just some, oh, now I'm about to go work at the grocery store or sell McDonald's just to say I made $1. I'm trying to think of a way to keep it the way I've been having it without compromising who I am as a man in the process. So a lot of times the things men do in the interim of that look lazy, look underwhelming. And it's not that they don't want to jump up every day and pound the pavement, but sometimes we get lost too. Sometimes we're stuck too. It's like, damn, you know, I didn't expect that. I was doing great, and all of a sudden everything's ripped away from me. Where can I find something equal to what I had? And it's not always, especially if you have something good, it's not always, you know, easy to get something that's good. So now you start saying, I'm not going to do this shit that I don't want to do, and I'm going to make half of what I was making. So I still can't maintain things the way I want. So now he's stressing out. And he might not show his stress like women show their stress. He might not say anything, but he's internalizing it a lot. So the minute you start to give it to him, it's going to come out at you like he's lashing out and angry because he's holding all this stuff in, trying to be the man. You know, so we are not we're simple in a lot of ways, but we're complex in a lot of ways because we're not very good at sharing how we deal with problems with our female counterparts. Some of us aren't. I do. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't. A lot of guys don't. And maybe if we could get a little bit more comfortable. And this goes back to what I was saying in the book. A lot of this is on you ladies to make him feel comfortable enough, to feel vulnerable enough to share these moments. But what happens is guys get comfortable, guys get vulnerable, they share these moments. And when mad day come, that's the first thing you toss in his face. And that's when he stops sharing stuff with you. So these are just little things y'all need to know. Because you use things as a weapon. That's the very thing that you want him to be better at. The minute you do that, you take away all the progress you made in trying to get him to be more forthright, trying to get him to be more open. You know, it's really up to y'all in a lot of ways to get a guy to say I do. Just like with my wife. I mean, I ain't know I wanted to get married. I loved her. You know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I was married to the industry. So I wasn't ever thinking, well, you know, one day because in my mind, one day we're going to do that. Once I get my career going and making money and I can take care of you, you know, that's always what men are thinking. I don't want to struggle with you. I want to be able to provide. But in women's minds, love is so strong that we can struggle together. You know what I'm saying? And learn how to provide together. But guys, you know, we've been beaten in our minds that we've got to be the provider. We got to be the provider. So if we're not ready, a woman could be saying, well, I'm ready to get married now. Well, let me, you know, work this job and be able to get the crib and all that first or whatever. That's how guys think and trying to prepare a little bit better. But the woman's like, no, we good. We in love. We living together. I don't see why we can't just do it now. And this is where the conflicts start coming up because he has his own vision of how he wants to be that man. And you have your vision of why we waiting because I got that clock running. You know, so it's like a lot of times the conflicts of relationships come there too, because we both have the same goal. We just have a different vision of how to get there. My route might take a little longer than your route, but it's not like we're not on the same path. And I think a lot of times when it comes to things of the heart and relationships, women want to steer that ship more than they want to ride on it. And I believe that. I believe women want to control those moments more than they want to have those moments. It's like I need that moment to go down, and that moment need to go down between July and December 31st, or I'm going to find me somebody else to have that moment with. Now, there's nothing about that that's going to make a man want to spend the rest of his life with you. Every time I don't do what you want me to do, you out, then be gone now. Give me something to go on. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, at some point, I'm not going to be compliant because I'm grown. At some point, I'm going to do what I want because I'm grown. So if every time I don't comply to what you want, you're going to bail out and be with somebody else, you might as well start practicing right now, boo, because I ain't never going to be what you want me to be. That's just how men are. You know, men can't be treated like children in relationships. And I think a lot of times that motherly thing that y'all learn from children, you know, like I say, you a child changing a child diaper, which is crazy to me. But that motherly thing that you learn from children tends to bleed over sometime into your grown-up relationships, and guys don't like it. You know, nobody wants it. This was where the term motherfucker came from. It's a mother that I have sex with. You know, no, I don't want my mom. You know what I'm saying? I want a mate. And I think sometimes compromise comes into the picture. And there's a lot of dominant women out here. Let's just keep it real. There's a lot of strong, independent-minded women out here who, and they're usually the ones that use this phrase, I don't need a man.
No. There's some dominant women out there that know that a man has to be in the picture. I may be a little dominant. I don't know.
But would you make a statement, say, I don't need a man?
No, I would never make that statement because
that's not who I'm speaking about. There's women out here who I've seen them write it. I've seen them say it. I've seen them make, I don't need no damn man. Okay, well, that's why you don't have no damn man. See,
yeah, we actually do need a man. It's not about money. It's not about finances. It's about
companionship. We all need that. We all need. We all need. So it's unrealistic for anybody who opens their mouth to say what they don't need. That's a lie. We're built for each other. You know what I'm saying? We're put on earth to be each other's companions. So it's arrogance. It's arrogance, anger, and hurt that makes one say what they don't need. That's just that's your pride talking, because we were put here to love on one another. So there's no, to say you don't need it just means you got hurt having it. It don't mean you don't need it. We all need it. We all need companionship. We all need friendship. We all need love. That's what we're built on. That's what God wants us to do. So to say you don't need that is just somebody talking from a hurt place, and those, hurt people tend to hurt people. So sometimes it's better to just say, yeah, I do need that. And need, ladies, does not mean I can't live without. It just means that it's something that goes along with me, like my eyelashes or my hair. These are things I need when I walk out the door. Just like a relationship and companionship is something I need for my soul. It has nothing to do, like you said, it's not just about finances. It's about a human bond. There's something about human beings and kindred spirits that we enjoy, in this experience we call life. That's one of the greatest things of it, is that you get to share portions of your life with other human beings. And that's, and those are all choices. And I just think that sometimes we make choices that we're good with today, but we might change our minds about them later on. And marriage is not like boyfriend and girlfriend. You sign a contract. It's a business agreement. You know what I'm saying? Whether people want to realize that or not, there's a whole contract involved. This is a business arrangement. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we're gonna talk about this more on our next segment, because you coming back next month, and I'm gonna have some.
By then we'll have some specific stuff. People need to go read the book so y'all can ask some specific.
I'm going to have it. Yes, I'm definitely going to go read the book, and I'm definitely going to have point by point so I could be ready for you, because
I be having fun with y'all, ladies. I just be having fun. I don't take nothing I say personal. I'm just speaking from a guy's perspective, because sometimes y'all need to hear that. We don't think like we think. And I know sometimes some of the ways we think might be offensive, but I'm not ever, and you'll read the book and you'll understand, at no point am I trying to offend anybody. I'm very, very careful in how things are worded, because I really want you to receive the information. I'm funny when I'm talking about it. I'll get all male, testosterone-ish on it or whatever. But ultimately, the way it's written, it was written to be palatable by ladies, because I want y'all to understand how much power you have, and make it that guy that's sitting next to you right now decide that he wants to marry you sooner than you think.
There's nobody sitting next to me, so I don't know what you're talking about.
But physically, on the phone somewhere where he can call and have access to you. I mean, the guy that you're currently digging, you can get him to see you the way you want him to see. If you just read the book, I mean, it's really about things that you can do. Because ultimately, remember this before you go, it's ultimately about what you can control. A lot of this is about control. What can you control? Because what you cannot control is him. What you can control is you. And if you make the right moves the right way, you can get him to see you the way that you want to be seen, which goes back to what I said from the top, perception, ladies. You want what you're projecting to be received exactly like you projected it. And if you read my book, you'll understand how you can make simple adjustments to things you are already doing, and you will get better results from your man.
Amen. Kudos. That's 90 minutes of good stuff right there. So you coming on next month January. What's today's date? It's the 16th. So mid-month, every month, I'm gonna have Gary Sturgis on here. He's agreed to come and talk to me every month about different topics. But we're gonna definitely keep the conversation going since I haven't read the book yet. I'm going to read it.
You'll be tickled when you read it, because after hearing me talk about it, be like, okay, I thought it was coming with that this way, but nah, he didn't do what I thought he was gonna do. Because it's not about us against y'all, man. It's just about y'all understanding us as well as y'all want to be understood. Because if you knew your opponent, you know how to prepare for him. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it's about. If you knew your opponent, you know how to prepare for him. He's not you. So let me show you how men think, so that you can now say, okay, well, I know if I do this way, he gonna react stupid. And ultimately, I just want him to do what I want him to do. So let me try a different approach. That's all the book is really about, trying a different approach.
Well, try a different approach. Read the book. Hashtag why he won't marry you, and how to change that dynamic. Thank you so much, Mr. Sturgis, for coming on. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You the man with the plan.
Thank you so much, sis. And y'all, for the ladies that was checking me out, trust me, when you read the book, you will be pleasantly surprised. It's not as harsh as your boy come off on the promotion. So, do check it out, because I want to see y'all win.
All right. Well, you have a good evening, sir, and we'll see you next month.
God bless. See you in the new year, 2021. COVID
2021.